Hey, hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show a step-by-step approach for LinkedIn automation. So from this tutorial, you will able to automate your LinkedIn posts on multiple groups. So let's begin. So this is my Power Automation script which I have developed. I'm going to show a step-by-step tutorial for creating this LinkedIn script. In my case, I have already created one Excel which has the link of all the groups which I wanted to post my content. Okay, here are 85 groups, but as per the latest changes in the LinkedIn, there are some limitations while posting the content on various groups. So now you can only post only in 20 groups in a week. Just keep this in mind. Now let's begin. Let's create a new flow. I will give the name as LinkedIn and click this button Power FX enable and create it. Let it open. So it is loading the desktop flow where we will do the magic. So this is my Excel. So you can see there are two columns, column A and column B. I'm just going to hide this column A which is not in use. So you can see column B contains various links. These are actually link of my groups. If I just copy this and try to open this in a tab, which will open LinkedIn group where we are going to post the content. Now let's go back to the Excel. You can see it start with row 1 and it's end with 85. So let me just go back to the Power Automate, and first we will read the content. Launch the Excel. So launch Excel. I will give the path. So select here open following document. You can use this select file. So this is my file path, and let me just save this. Once Excel is open, we will just close that Excel. Okay, so we are closing this Excel. In between we will read the content, read from Excel, drag this here so that in between we will read the content. So here we need to give some range from the range of cell. So we will select this, and starting column will be B. So let me just give here B, and then first row will be 1, end column will be same B, and the end row will be 86 in my case. Okay, and whatever the result it is producing, it is going to store in the Excel data. That is the new variable. So let me just save it, and let me just save here as well. Let's try to run this. So before running, I am going to close this Excel. So let me just save it, whatever the content is there, and let me just try this. So we always need to test our code. So you can see the Excel is open and it is closed. That means our code, this much code is working. Okay, now we will go to the next step. You will launch a Chrome browser. Okay, so let me just type launch Chrome. So you can see there are various options: Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome and Microsoft. So I will just drag this here. So for the URL, let me just go back to the LinkedIn and just delete this and enter it. You can see here are the various LinkedIn groups. I will just copy this. You can give any link. I'm just giving this LinkedIn group, and I will just enter this value, and the window set will be maximize, and I will choose the local computer only, and the variable will be browser. So let me just save this. Let's see what happens if you just save this and try to run this. So ideally it should launch new browser. So you can see new browser is open and the LinkedIn group link is open. So the next step will be, once you have launched the Chrome browser, you need to enter the URL. For entering a URL, you can use the F6 and enter your URL, right? So similar way, what we will do, we will use the same keys, drag this here, then select this special keys, function keys and F6. So this is my key which I am going to use. So before that, let me just use equal to and then wrap this in double quotes and click the save button. So once it is done, the next key, you will enter the first row, right? As in that Excel you have the multiple rows. So for fetching the first row, you need to use a for each statement. So for each will be iterating that particular Excel or the rows. Drag this here and then use the variable Excel data. So here inside the Excel data we have our data. Let's just save it. Now drag this here, same keys, and then second key will be the current element. The current element will be the value of the row. So let's just choose this current element and then save. Once this is done, you will need to press the enter key, right? So in this case as well, I will use the special keys, that is enter. So use this enter. So you need to use double quotes here, so I will wrap this with the double quotes and hit the OK. So this much code is ready. I will use a wait because it will take some time to load entire page. So you can use this wait flow control. So let me just drag this wait and drag it here, and I can give the duration as 3. Based upon your internet speed you can give the duration. I will use the 3. Let me just use equal to 3. So you can see it is saved properly, and now let's save it. Let me just fix one thing here. So we have to remove this single curly bracket and remove from here as well, as we are using equal to sign. Okay, and let me just save this and play this. You can see it is reading the Excel and then closing that Excel, launching a new browser, and then it will do the F6 and enter the URL. So you can see URL is getting entered. It is just hit the enter and it is waiting for 3 seconds, and then it will enter the next URL. So you can see the code is working. So let me just close this and stop this. So next step will be, you will need to click post button, right? So for posting that button I will use click UI element. So I am going to drag this here. So you can see there are no UI elements. I will control click. Let me just click the edit button here and let me just see what exactly the element got captured. So you can see this is my element which got captured. Okay, I'm just going back and click on this group. So here itself you can see various attributes which is captured. So instead of ID I will use the name. You can edit this from here itself, and let me just click this group. I will just remove this original, so it is not required actually, and let's just save this. So save this again, and now let's click the start. So you can see the browser is launched and it is entering the URL, and then it will try to hit that start post in group button. Okay, so you can see it is opening a new group and then it is hitting that start post button. So the code is working. So now I will go back and stop this. So next step is you will add your content. Okay, so for adding the content, right, I will use a variable called input variable. So this is the content which you are going to post in this automation. So this can be a link, so LinkedIn content. Okay, and in my case, let's say I am going to post LinkedIn URL. So let's say this is my content link. Copy the LinkedIn post, go back to this, and here I will paste the content link. I just added one more space here and just save this. So once this is done, considering you have opened that particular dialog box, now we will send that this variable value in that element. I have just copied the send keys and dragging this down. Double click this particular element, and instead of current element I will use the variable content. Now click on the save button. Okay, you can see the next action will be I will just add one more weight before entering my content. So let me just drag this here. Let me just give 2 seconds, so it will wait for 2 seconds here, and once it is done it will enter the content, and then we will wait for 3 more seconds. So let me copy this and drag it here. Okay, once it is done, right, so let me just show you one demo. Say I have opened one of the group link. Once it is open, I will hit this button. Once it is open, I will enter my post. So let's say this is my post and let it load. Okay, I think it is taking 5 seconds in my case. It can be 3 seconds in your case. Okay, once it is load, I don't want to load this content. Usually I do the control A and select this alt control and do backspace or delete this content. Once it is deleted, I will use this post button, okay, for posting the content. In this case as well, we will require that post button, right? So let's drag this one more UI element, click this drop down, add UI element. So in this case you will use this post, so control click on this button post. So once it is loaded, so let me just click this button again, and you can see it is using Sushant Raze and button ID, right? We don't want this all these things, because if you hardcode like this, it will not work for another LinkedIn group, right? So we will just remove this. So let me just click on the second element and remove this name, and instead of button, let me use the name attribute, it is the post, and save this. Okay, the last thing is, once it is post, we will add a weight. I will again use the same keys, so that we will do the backspace and remove all the content. So this is the final one. So click this control operator, just remove this double curly bracket, keep it single, control A and back. So I will enter just back, control A, backspace, and scroll down or page down. So I will copy this few more times. I guess 3 or 4 times is enough. Then hit the save button. So I think I missed the double quotes, so let's add double quotes here and save it again. So you can see it is not giving any warnings. Now let's me just save it again. Okay, I think I have missed one step, that is adding the content. Okay, so everything is ready. So let me just show you the steps. So these are my steps. Step 1 is launch Excel, read the content from Excel, close it, launch the Chrome browser, send the key F6, enter the URL, enter, wait for 3 seconds, click on that button, wait, send this keys content, wait for 3 more seconds, remove all linked, and hit the post button and wait for 3 seconds. Again it will continue for the next URL. I will save this again and hit the start button, and now let's wait. Okay, the program is started. It is launching the Excel and reading the content, launching the Chrome browser. You can see the Chrome browser is loaded. It will enter the URL. You can adjust your weight based upon your timing. You can just check this couple of times, and based upon what you feel, right, you can just change the wait time so that it will not take a lot of time for posting your content. You can see it is clicked on that particular button. Okay, I think the content is not posted properly. So you can see it is posted. It is click on that post button. It is not able to click that post button because it is not loaded anything. Let me just stop this and correct this content one. So for the content, we should remove this. So let me just remove it and save this again, and I will start this again. So you can At the end you can just close this browser. I have not closed this, but you can add the steps for closing the browser. It's totally depend upon you. So you can see again the browser is loaded. Once it is loaded, it will enter that URL. So it is entering the URL correctly, and let's see it is able to find that start post in group button or not. So you can see it is adding that post, and once it is added, it will wait for a few seconds and it will delete the content. So you can see it is deleted the content. Now it is going to hit that post button. So you can see it is posted my content. Okay, now it is loading another group, and again it is doing the same activity. So it is posting my content, and once it is done, it will delete the entire URL or the content and post the content. So let's go to the another one. So you can see it is posting that content. So this is how the automation works. If you need my personal assistance, connect with me on LinkedIn. I will definitely help you for this LinkedIn automation. Thank you for watching this video.